All right, welcome everyone to our chamber event of Working from Home crash course. So thank you guys so much for coming. I see Brenda and Pam have already muted themselves. Albert, you sound like you have absolutely no background noise, so feel free to either mute or hang off of mute. And you guys feel free to unmute at any time to jump in and ask questions. So I want this to be interactive. So I was talking to Valerie and Pam about everyone working from home. And I was sharing how, I've been working from home for about 15 years now. So a lot of this is not new to me. And I figured I could add some value to some people and try to help them maybe learn some tips and tricks. So a little bit about myself. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Gina Gillen. I'm a network marketer for Isogenics, and that's a health and wellness company. We've been around 18 years. So I market products through my networks of people. Pretty simple. I went to Taunton High. That's my little Taunton tiger there. So been a local girl my whole life. From there went to Bentley University, where I have my degree in economics and finance. I went into financial services from there, working at Schwab and Fidelity for over 10 years. And, oh, my little field hockey girl. I did play field hockey in college. I worked at Schwab and Fidelity for over 10 years, loved it, loved corporate life. Then 9/11 happened, and in the bottom left corner there, my daughter was just 10 months old when that happened. And wow. I had decided that I wanted to stay home. And my husband and I, who I met in college, and we've been married 23 years, decided that we would consolidate to one income and I would stay home. So that started my venture of working from home, because after about a year, I decided I needed to do something just for myself, just to get out, to keep my sanity. And a friend introduced me to direct sales. So I was doing in-home parties for a food company. And I had never really even attended a party before. It wasn't my wheelhouse. But I gave it a shot, and I fell in love with the personal development and all, the team and everything that, these companies have to offer. So that's what got me into working from home. I was with them for about 9 years, and then the kids were getting older. I had my son as well, and they were getting a little older. I didn't want to be out at night doing parties, so I wanted a job that I could be doing during the day from home. So enter Isogenics. So, and I also have a few more little things there in the corner here. I coached lacrosse, I coached basketball. I also officiated lacrosse and field hockey. I live in Lakeville, been living here since 1998. And then I found Isogenics. So that's where I am today. And the way we function is mainly online through social media, a lot of face-to-face like this, which is what we like to say, it's not social distancing, it's physical distancing and social connecting. So we don't want to distance ourselves socially. We want to distance ourselves physically and continue to be social. So that's what I'm here kind of to talk about today, because a lot of people only socialize in person. So they're not used to this type of connection. So the goals of what I want to talk about today is how to stay connected. As I just said, it's more about physical distancing and social connecting. So we don't want to confuse the two. We don't want to socially distance ourselves from everybody, because then that would be awful. And 70% of communication is done through body language. And that's why doing video like this and doing FaceTimes, Skype, there's so many ways to do face-to-face, that it's so important, because you really do get to know people better. You do connect with people better when you're doing it this way versus just on a telephone. Plus, we're always distracted when we're on a phone. We're doing 5,000 other things because nobody can see what we're doing. I also, I'm just here to try to add value, to see, what you guys need, how I can, help, how I can add to maybe specific situations you guys have. We also want to keep our pulse on the competition. So what are other people doing during this stage of change? How are they, what are other chambers doing? What are other, people, Brenda, in our industry doing? Or Albert, how are people connecting and meeting new people, at this point? How are you gaining new prospects? And, we want to be networking. So our goal is to talk about how you can network more in situations like this, leveraging all of this newfound time you have, maybe where you're not commuting anymore, or maybe where you're not having those long, constant meetings, how are there new ways you can connect using these tools? And obviously we want everyone staying in business and possibly prospering during this time. So ways to stay connected. These are some of the key tools I use on a daily basis, I see being used on a daily basis that are effective. Zoom, which obviously we're on right now, which I think everybody's had their own personal crash course. Marco Polo, which I want to share with you guys as well, which is an app. And basically it's like a video walkie-talkie, I like to call it, where you send video chats back and forth with people. You can do it in a group or you can do it one-on-one. That is excellent. My daughter and I do it when she's at college. Again, it's that face-to-face connection. It's better than a text. It's not Snapchat. It's more of a person-to-person connection. I do it with people on my team, people that I'm coaching. You kind of get their vibe of how they're feeling when you're seeing their video. So basically, it's a free app you download. You take a quick video of yourself. I'll say, hey, how you doing today? Just want to let you know that we have this incentive going on this week. We had a great, awesome week last week. I'd love to hear what you have planned for this week. Send. We do it really quick. You get notified when you have one. You can watch them actually live. If you picked up your phone quick enough, you can watch them recording and you can respond right away. And the other thing about Marco Polo is it tracks your conversations down below. So you can always kind of go back to a conversation that you were having with someone. So it is, again, a great way to connect via video. And it's a great way to just stay connected with friends, with family. My daughter plays basketball in college and her coaches do that with them too. And it's a good way for them to just stay on top of how everybody's doing. So it's a reason to stay connected. FaceTime, if you have Apple devices, FaceTime is a great way. You can do one-on-one FaceTimes and you can do group FaceTimes. I don't know how many people use that feature. It's really pretty cool. If you have a group text and everyone has Apple, you can simply press FaceTime and it will call all the people in your group text at the same time and they all pop up on your screen. And as they answer, you can just have a quick video call with them. So it's I taught my husband this recently with all of his high school friends, and he thinks this is great that he can bother them all at once and have all their faces on the phone. So it is a real fun way to connect with people, which actually leads me to another kind of sidebar. I feel like a lot of people are connecting that don't normally connect, which is kind of pretty cool. A lot of people are having like happy hours with their friends on a Friday night, and these aren't friends that they normally see on a Friday night. So it really is giving us an opportunity to kind of reach out and meet and talk with people that we might not be, communicating with on a normal basis. So I think it's really, everyone's open to new things right now, which is a great time to introduce some of these platforms to people and bring them into kind of, what you do for work or what you do for fun, and really connect with some new people because it's all about connections. Google Meet. Does anyone use Google Meet? It's very similar to Zoom. My son's using it for school. So it's whatever platform somebody wants to communicate with you on. So that's what their school signed up to use. And any of these, I highly recommend you can Google, and there are YouTube videos to the nth degree on every platform out there. So you can learn as much as you want, or you can just know the bare bones. But Google Meet is actually I'll go into each one a little bit individually, but it's a more business platform for Google Hangouts, which used to be something kids used to use all the time, Google Hangouts. And then, of course, Facebook is always great for Facebook Messenger, Facebook Lives, and you can send audio recordings on Facebook Messenger and different ways like that to communicate with people too. So I did grab some screenshots here to make it easier. So Zoom video, as you guys know here, a couple tips with Zoom, and you guys seem to have, obviously, we got the background going, we have photos going. Albert, you have good lighting. My couple recommendations with this is, obviously make sure your microphone's working. If not, you can put headphones in and have your microphone working. Um, you can do it on your computer or your phone or even a tablet. Your computer, I find, is the best because you can get the screen of everyone. You can, if you're screen sharing like this on a phone, it's a lot harder to see everything versus on a laptop. A tablet's pretty good too. You can kind of swipe left and right and move around on it. But again, if you're doing it for business, I do recommend being on some type of computer, just because it's the other thing is when people are on a phone, they're kind of moving around and stuff, and everyone else on the call is getting motion sickness. So the computer is stable for people. Obviously, Zoom is a free service. You get 40 minutes of free Zoom time with anytime you have 3 or more participants on. If you only have 2 of you on, they don't give you a time limit, so you can chat away forever with somebody. But when you have 3 or more, they give you a 40-minute time limit, and you can have up to 100 participants. When I first started using Zoom about 4 years ago, they only gave you 20 participants. So they've really opened that up, which is pretty cool. The other trick with Zoom is after 40 minutes, if they knock you off, you just click on the same link and you're back in the same room again for another 40 minutes. So it's not like you have to recreate a new link and do anything crazy like that. So it, you know, they're really going above and beyond it. And I've noticed when a new user runs a meeting, they've been extending their time for the first couple meetings. So they're definitely doing their part with hoping people will jump on this type of platform. Let's see. All right. Oh, I have
Gina,
yes.
I just wanted to say that I just heard that Zoom is not, because of what's going on right now, they're not putting a time limit. And I'm not sure if that's true or not true, but just something I heard.
Great. I know they're doing it for new people. I do have people on my team who've had Zoom free for a while and they are getting knocked off.
Oh, really?
But I think I don't know what their algorithm looks like. I do pay. It ends up being like $15.50 a month. And
yeah, with me.
I have the ability to record onto a cloud, which is great, where if you have the free account, you can record your calls, but they go to your computer, which obviously can take up a lot of space. I can record to a cloud. I can have unlimited time on my calls as well. So those are 2 of the main reasons that, you know, I started paying a long time ago when it was the 25 limit. Now that they expanded to 100, I kind of go back and forth. But with everything going on now, I'm doing so many Zoom calls, I didn't want to be bumped off. So, but great features. So there we go. It's funny, my thing usually dings when you come on. I see Val and Mike, Valerie, Mike, and Helene on the second page now. So welcome, guys. I don't know when you jumped on.
Can I just chime in for a second?
Yes.
So I actually signed up for the the $14.99 Zoom as well because I really wanted to have the longer time limits. And one thing that I'm hoping to do to create added value to people in networking is to offer to host somebody that for any group that doesn't have that feature added on, so they don't have to. And that might add something to, the value that I'm providing to other people in networking. And in networking, in my view, adding value to other folks is always part of our real goal too. So thank you, Gina, for doing that too. And it's really helpful. I'm learning so much, so fast.
Good.
about digital networking now. So it's so much fun.
Awesome. Thanks. And the more you learn, the more you earn. I always say that, no matter what you're learning.
Yeah.
So, so those are some of the features. Can you guys see up here when I hover over this? Can you guys see this on your end? The mute, the stop video, those functions? Yes, no? On the share screen. I don't know what Zoom will hide from you and what I can see, what you can't see.
I saw an X up top of your
yeah, up here. Can you see where I'm hovering over mute and stop video? No?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So these are the features you'll see on Zoom when they hide and they go away. So when you are facilitating, obviously this mute, and you can see the microphone moving because it means it's working. The arrow next to the microphone, these are the settings. So you'll have some people come on to your calls and you can't hear them, they can't hear you. They can click on this and they can test their speakers and microphones on their end. sometimes it'll default to, I don't know, if they have something else connected, or it'll default to the wrong thing. Pretty much 90% of the time, it's pretty good at finding the correct speaker and the correct microphone, so it's gonna be working correctly. The video piece, obviously you can have the video on or off. As Brenda has, you can have the virtual background be whatever you want it to be. You can click something like that. Mine has the green screen, sorry, wait a minute. All right, if I click that, it might reset me. I actually have a green screen because then it's like crystal clear, but as you can see, Brenda's is perfect. You can add any image you want here. You can select anything to have as your background. So it's just something fun to do, or you can do it from a business standpoint. If you have a green screen, it'll only reflect on that. So if you didn't want it to be a whole background, it could be a piece of it. Different things are available for fun things like that, that's all on the drop down next to the word stop video. You can manage participants. So as the facilitator, I'm able to mute all. I'm able to mute and unmute people individually. So if someone has background noise, it's important to keep them muted because they might not even know. But their little box, like how on my picture here, like Cindy's box is lit up, that's where the noise is coming from sometimes. So even if she's the speaker and this one down here is lighting up, you can always mute that one. So facilitating is a whole new art form. So you definitely have to know how to facilitate these calls, because if you just let people have these sidebar conversations, you want people to connect, but it can be frustrating for other people on the call. So you want to make sure you are truly managing the participants as you go. This is set on share because I am sharing my screen. I can pause my share, which will pause my screen sharing. You can annotate on your screen. You can draw things if you wanted to highlight something as you're going. I mean, personally, I think the mouse is pretty good for that anyways. I could set up a remote control for all of this. And then over here, under the more, and there's plenty more, you can chat, you can invite people on the fly. So right now I could be like, oh, I should have invited so-and-so to this meeting. I can click invite, and it'll pull up people that are in my Zoom database, or I can just copy the URL and go paste it somewhere. I can paste it in a Facebook message, I can paste it in a text, and invite the person to what we're doing right here, right now. So you can always invite people on the fly. I can pause and stop my recording. I can disable anybody's ability to annotate because, say, Brenda started drawing on people's faces and stuff. I could disable her ability to annotate at any time. I could show the names of people that are drawing, different things like that. So again, those are just, fun things that are available. It's pretty flexible, and you can get a lot accomplished. So those were our features on Zoom. Before I jump to Marco Polo, does anybody have any Zoom questions? No? We good? All right. And I know the last thing on Zoom, and on any of these, I mentioned lighting. Windows behind you is one of the hardest things. Albert, you definitely have good lighting in front. I know you have a window behind you, but we can see you very well. But that's why I do have a wall behind me, because I have the light coming from the front. That's always the best view. I don't have one of the circle lights. I don't really need one in my office. Some people will use those so that their image is better. You also want to try to have it eye level if possible, so you're not, looking down on it or looking up. So try to set up your computer before you start your anything video so that you have a comfortable setting. And now we're going to be on video for the next 30 days. So find that area that you can just plop it down and know that your background's good, your lighting's good, and you're good to go. So
I did that on purpose because I didn't want anybody to see my face this morning.
Oh, there you are with all your light. And you have a lot of windows in your house, so that's hard. That is challenging. I have a girl on my team who's in Florida, and no matter where she sits, she has more sunshine. I tell her she needs to go in a corner. I know Helena has us shooting at the ceiling. She must be at the
If your
office.
pickup isn't on, it's a good trick. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. And you can always shut your camera off, which is absolutely fine. I mean, if you're in some type of networking meeting, you don't want your camera off because you're there to be seen and see and be seen. So this is the Marco Polo app. I just took some screenshots so you could kind of see what it is down here. And as I mentioned, like this picture in the middle, it just shows on the bottom that, you know, the back and forths they've had with their family. This looks like probably a military person, you know, communicating back and forth. It's great if you're in a different time zone as well. It's also great just if you are never able to connect with somebody because you try calling and they're on a call, etc. It's a good way to send 1 to 2 minute clips back and forth and really stay connected with people. So as you can see, when you first jump on, it's going to give you suggested people. You'll be surprised. You'll go on and some of your friends are already using Marco Polo. So they'll come up as suggested friends because it'll pull from your contacts in your phone and match up anybody that's on Marco Polo. You can invite anybody to join. It sends them a link that says, check out this new app. I've sent you a video message. And again, it's free. It's something that they can just join. But something to just stay connected with people without having to set up a full meeting, set up a time to meet. But you just want to say, hey, how you doing? And we're all looking for connection right now. So that is that app. Does anyone use this one by chance? No? Well, check it out. If you jump on, find me, send me a message. Google Meet. So this is, as I said, the business version of the Google Hangout. And it's Google, this one I found was a paid version, which would probably make sense. I think my son's school went to this one because they were afraid of the bandwidth of everything else. However, Zoom is holding up quite nicely. It's a very similar format to what we're using right here. And it's just a different template. It's, you know, made by Google. So they're of course going to do it well. And they have pretty much all the same features that I've been able to find that are on Zoom. So if someone invites you to a Google Hangout or a Google Meet, pretty much the same thing as Zoom, just a different app you have to download if you're on your phone or a different site you have to go to. Again, usually when you get sent a link, it kind of launches everything for you that needs to be done. So anybody use Google Meet? No? Mike, nice background.
I tried to look it up and to see how to use it, but do you need to go onto your Google email in order to get it? Or it's under Drive, I think.
I'm trying to think when I went in. I do have a Google email, like a Google account. I don't have a Google email, but I have a Google account. So when I first, because my son sent me a link so I could test it out, and I just clicked on the link in it. I don't know if it required me to log in. Yes, it probably did require me to log into my Google account. Yes. Someone's commenting. Trying to check out, and I'm going to pull up your chat in private. So sorry, I haven't used all the options. If you guys are chatting with me privately, I can't look at it without everyone seeing it. So I'm afraid to open my chat. Mike's on the beach now. Sorry.
I'm on the move. I should be in Florida if you want to know the truth.
Yes, I'm supposed to be there too.
All in my head.
All right, and you guys definitely unmute and chime in. So, because when I'm on screen share, it is hard for me to see the chat. When I'm not on screen share and you're just on your gallery, you can have your chat and your participants on the side, and it's really easy to kind of manage everything as you go. Hi, Helena. She was waving. All right. So that's Google Meet. So yes, you probably do have to have a Google account. I'm imagining I have one. I use Google Photos and I use all those Google services, Google Drive, Google Slides. I definitely use all that. I try to keep as much stuff off my laptop as possible in case anything ever happens to it or in case I need to access it somewhere else. So that's just kind of an aside for working at home. I definitely use all those Google features. So that could be a
Tina, is that a pay service or is it free? Okay, cool.
It's all free. Yep. I can pull it up after online if you'd like, but Google Slides is just like PowerPoint, very similar, some subtle differences. Actually, this is a Google slide here that I'm using. So Google Slides, as I mentioned, so it's kind of funny because you don't technically need all the Microsoft Office software because it's all on Google. So you can do Google Slides, Google Docs, and again, it's all saved to the cloud, so you can access it from anywhere. You just log into your Google account. So I use it a lot with my kids because I have their IDs and passwords on my computer, and if my daughter's at school and says, can you look at a paper I just wrote, I can just log into her drive, look at her paper, make the comments, and then she has it back. So you do a lot of document sharing there. So it's great for that as well. I have a lot of like the NGU documents out on a Google Drive. That way, if anyone needs to access them, it's not on my computer. And as long as they have an ID and a password, or I can invite anybody to view a document. So if you want more information about any of that, let me know. Yes, Brenda.
I use the Google Sheets for my inventory.
Yep.
So that if I'm at a vendor event or out of the house and I get a message from someone asking me if I have a certain style,
Yes.
I can tell them without waiting until I get home to find it.
Yep. So Google Sheets is just like Microsoft Excel.
Yep.
Lots of similar functionality, but because you can access it anywhere, you can access them on your phone.
Right.
It's really very convenient. So it's taken me a couple of years to start transitioning over. I have an old laptop, and I know it's going to, stay with me for as long as it wants, but I want to keep making sure as much stuff is off of it as possible. So not sure from a security standpoint what John Dennehy would say about all of that, but my stuff is not, I don't work for a bank. This is just my documents. I know if you do work for a financial services institution, they do not want your stuff out on a non-secured site, but I'm sure they have their own cloud where you can upload stuff. But for those of you who are doing personal things like this, like a presentation or like Brenda's, inventory for her Color Street nails or things like that, it's perfect solution, because when you are working from home, you want to have access to everything. My husband and daughter are moving a chair into the house. I just was slightly distracted by what's going on. All the equipment's coming in. Okay. Any other questions on that stuff? We good? And as I said, jump right in. You can technically raise your hand. I can only see Brenda, Albert, and Pam on my first screen, and then I got to scroll. So you guys just jump in anytime. Facebook, of course, one of my favorite tools to use, and is a fabulous tool to be using right now. Whether you're in this strictly for business or not, you can find people on Facebook. You can see what they're doing, how they're doing. You can message them. Helena mentioned the other day on our call, reach out to people. It's definitely a great way to send messages to people, see how they're doing. You can do live videos, if you so choose. I mean, the young generation is doing TikToks all over the place. Feel free to do that if you so choose. Do a live, add some personality, add some life, add some value to people out there. Facebook groups, there are groups being created by the minute. Brenda and I were talking about the quarantine karaoke the other day. I think there's 250,000 people in that group. There are groups like that everywhere. It's an opportunity to meet people. It really is. It's an opportunity to see what's going on out there, to stay connected. There's definitely local groups going on. Stay in the positive ones, get out of the negative ones. There's a lot of negative stuff going on too, but there's a lot of really good stuff going on. So if you have a great idea of something you can do to give back to the community, or you can do to just add value, create a group, invite people in. People are looking for more social media content right now than ever before. They're consuming more content than ever before. Everybody is on some form of social media for probably 3 times a day than what they used to be, because they're home and they're looking for that. So this is a time to use these things to maybe highlight what you're doing, whether it's just adding value to the community, or it's something, if your business is still moving along, that you're there for people and what can you provide for them at this time, and different things like that. So be that beacon of light out there that people are looking for, because people are looking for positivity, and if they're not your people, and bless and release and goodbye. So that's my theory on Facebook. So, and be social, you know, share other people's posts and promote other people, promote other events that are going on that you might think people are interested in. We were trying to talk to Rick Santos about creating some type of karaoke. Hopefully, if he does, we'll all promote that and attend. Brenda, you just come off mute. You got something? Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share. I didn't know about this the last time we chatted. So I have a business page, which is public. Everything you do on your business page is public and can be shared with others. And then the rules for my company are that any special offers that I have or giveaways, I have to do in my closed VIP group. But what I did maybe a week ago or a little over a week ago, I did a post on my public business page. And then within my VIP group, I did a special offer to win 2 free sets and they got points by sharing doing a review for me.
Yep.
On my business page, or sharing my post that I talked about women who can't get to the salon right now. And then if they want to, another point if they shared it to their stories, because a lot of people see stories more than the regular feed, right?
Yes.
I don't use stories enough, honestly. But just doing that increased the visibility of that one post so much that I had a woman who reached out to me last night from Texas. A typical order for Color Street is a buy 3, get 1 free, and it's around $39. She ordered $139 of nail strips from me last night. And
Wow.
she found me on Facebook that way. So just for people who don't have those rules that I have to follow where you can't do special giveaways, some people will do that in a business page, do a giveaway for something and people earn points for that giveaway by sharing the business post.
Yes. And I think in any business that's good, whether it's public or private, giving incentivizing people to share your page or to like your page. A lot of people will do that. They'll say, if you share this post and like the business page, you'll be put into a drawing for X. And again, people are online. They are looking for content. It's a great time to get new followers, new likes to your page, things like that, who could either potentially be a client right away, or it could be someone that's going to watch you for a little while and become a client in the future.
Right.
So even Mike, I mean, you can't be out doing your CPR things right now, but as you know, you can be building a heck of a pipeline and getting people to like and comment on your things and maybe share some of the old videos you've done in the past or new videos you're doing now would be awesome for a way to build your pipeline now. Because again, more people are consuming more social media content now than ever. So
yeah, so one thing that I have done is I recently sent out my newsletter and I included a video, and I'm going to continue to do that. And on the newsletter, which is Constant Contact, I'm also going to try to add more pictures, which I haven't figured out yet, but it's going to be made easy to do. Pictures that are associated with videos. And so I'm going to teach emergency care. I'm going to try and pull up, give away as much as possible, because the people that are reading it are the people that are going to hire me to do their group. So it'll be helpful that way. You can't give away the store, as I've always been told, because I've been in this world for so long, but there's so much that you can actually give that are almost teasers, but they're really helpful, like how to put on a tourniquet, things like that I'm going to be putting into my newsletter. So I agree with you completely. Let's try and, share the wealth as much as possible, but also find all the outlets you can. Yesterday, I was with a new networking group in Needham that I'd been planning to go to. Fortunately, I got to do it from my living room, and I did a 20-minute presentation there on video. So you can do your 8-minute, 10-minute presentations. You just have to be a little, use a little bit of creativity. So I would hold the mannequin up here to do showing how to use it and things like that. So I just adapted a little bit. I also try to do things that are funny. So I put on a welding helmet and I held my mannequin and I put that picture is going on Facebook today, PPE on steroids, you know what I mean? Just little things, because everybody needs a chuckle. And I've seen a lot of people in putting some really cool stuff out there, just funny things that just add to your day. That's something that, bring in the clowns, as Jack Nicholson said after 9/11. That's really where we're at now, you know what I mean? So it's really good to, to add levity as much as we can.
Yep. And adaptation is the word we've been using around our house quite frequently. That's what everyone needs to do, is adapt to the new environment and find ways to make it work. So to be social, promote others, love on others' posts. That's my last thing down there. Make new friends. So we did, Mike just talked about Constant Contact. That's another great vehicle to use. That is a paid email service. I also do use that. That is something where you can track who's opening your emails, what emails are getting rejected. You can do links, as he mentioned, you can do photos, and it really is a great dynamic thing to have available. And it is great to accumulate email addresses, because that's something you would retain even if something were to ever happen to Facebook or anything like that. Not that I believe it ever would, but it is something that you have. It's another vehicle to use to send out to people. So personally, in my business, I get more response on social media than I do on email, but every company is different with what they have. So
You know, that stack of business cards that you have, and you're not sure how you're ever going to use them. Every one of the business cards that I ever gotten is on my Constant Contact. So
yeah.
I think about 300 people now that I send my email, my newsletter out to, and only one person so far is unsubscribed.
Yeah.
So they're accepting them. You can see your open rate. It's just fantastic. I know how many people viewed it, how many people clicked deeper. It's just
Right.
it's so valuable to help you to refine it to make it more useful for yourself.
And in your industry, you're not necessarily going to go friend every person that was at your event. So, that's definitely a way to keep in touch with them. For me, my industry, I'm more one-on-one with people. So I do find them on Facebook and whatnot, but that's what I'm saying, depending on your business, it's definitely a good way. And Brenda commented in the chat as well about MailChimp. And MailChimp is another great email service. So it's just an email service company. It's just find the one that fits for you. Most of them will, it's very easy to upload your list of contacts and they mail merge them in. So every email looks like it's personalized from you. And I know the Chamber uses it as well, is very personalized and great. So, all right. That's the couple things I wanted to cover. So I know I kind of jumped a little bit all over the place, but does anybody have questions? Oh, unmute up.
I really like the idea of Marco Polo. I've just downloaded it, so I'll send you something as soon as I figure it out. But
Oh, good.
what a great thing to do. So you can send to a group as well?
Yes.
We'll have to play around with that.
Yeah, it is. It is great to, be able to communicate that way and see people and get that body language.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So the Marco Polo I was going to ask the same question, because I've heard that several times from you in different venues, and it's something that I was like, what is that?
Right.
So it's just, it's another thing to, I mean, fortunately we have to stay at home so we can learn all this stuff.
Yep.
Because honestly, where we're at right now, there's just a wealth of possibilities, and discovering them and actually learning about them is, even Zoom is, while we've been in this meeting, I've been bouncing through buttons and seeing different things that I can configure on the screen. And so that's a good way to I think improve using it too. So now I'm feeling more confident, and I'm sure that's going to continue.
Yep. And those people that look at this time as a time of possibility, a time to learn, going to come out ahead on the other side. So in the interim, we all need to stay healthy and physically distance, not social distance. We're going to socially connect more than ever. I think I've seen Val and Pam more this week than I have in the last month.
Yeah, me too. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, definitely Brenda I've seen more, so it's good.
You did a great job. I would like you to do some more things. And I think maybe not a lot of people, we didn't give it enough time to really advertise this, because it's been very valuable.
Good. Thank you. Well, I did record it, so I can definitely share that recording. So hopefully we'll add more value to people that can watch it on their own time.
I think Pam's putting them all on the website too.
Oh, good.
All the recordings that we do and the Zoom meetings that we have. So
Yeah,
Excellent.
just send it to me and I'll get it downloaded.
I will do that. I'll probably put it on YouTube, and then it'll just be a link, which will make
Yeah, that's perfect.
okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, because that'll be a whole different audience that could probably use it. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just realized I muted myself, but I was thinking you could also do a YouTube channel for the chamber and put the
Yes.
videos on there.
Yeah.
yes,
I don't know.
that is very true.
I don't know.
And you could all have YouTube channels yourself.
Right.
YouTube channels yourself. That's a whole other animal. So it's all good. All right. Well, I appreciate the time all of you took.
Thank you.
I know Helena's commenting there because she's in her office. No problem joining late. I'm psyched you were able to jump on. Albert was very quiet, but hopefully this was helpful. Are you guys doing networking meetings using Zoom yourself? Are you facilitating those?
Oh yeah, we have what we call WebEx that we use. You know, it's company approved, so I can't use Zoom on my computer. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of virtual meetings with prospects and clients, and it's going well. I mean, getting people online access that didn't have that, so now we can do more paperwork. With electronic signatures. So that's going to be something different. You know, that a
That's
lot
great.
of people are used to. So.
Yeah, and you could probably take them through their accounts online and show them what they should have been looking at 3 years ago. And yeah.
Yeah, it's basically similar to Zoom where you can share, your screen and their accounts and so forth.
Yeah. Financial services always has their own rules. I know.
I used to do a lot of blue jeans work. When I would have several groups, so like 50 people in one room and 20 people in another room. And with blue jeans is also very effective, but it's also kind of clunky, so it can just escape you.
Right.
And
And
if it's
before-
such an important, if it's an important meeting, it would be a bummer. I like Zoom better because you can still have plenty of participants, but I think we used the blue jeans because it was like conference room style, so groups of people in a room. It's interesting. Just another format. There's so many.
Right. GoToMeeting is another one. That's what we used before Zoom.
Yeah, I used to use that.
Yeah, but it's just whatever people are comfortable with. And right now, this Zoom happens to be the one that shined bright initially, so a lot of people are on this. But whatever you're leading, you can show people how to do it and just, run it with some posture and people will follow. So.
Gina, did you learn all this just on your own, or are there certain YouTube videos that you started looking at?
Most of it is on my own, but one of the best sources, and it's really kind of funny, is the help function within the apps, if you can believe that. I think help in apps was so horrible for many years that people don't tend to go to it. But like if you go into the help section of Zoom, they have a video for everything. And it is all Zoom employees obviously doing the training, and they break everything down, and it's awesome. So I would definitely recommend using the help function within the applications. So Facebook has an awesome help section, believe it or not. I mean, any question you could ever have in Facebook, they have a video on it. And they're usually 1 to 2 minute videos, and they'll explain, how to set up a business account, how to create a group, how to do this. And it's like, it's nothing better than getting it from the source that creates it, because they're the most up to date and they're the most, so even when I created this presentation, I went into Zoom, watched a couple different things to make sure I was doing it correctly, so that I could share the information correctly. But they truly have videos for everything. So that and YouTube, I mean, everybody creates YouTube videos about it, but I would always start within the app that you're using or the program that you're using.
Good advice.
Yeah. So. All right, people. Everybody have an awesome day.
Thank you.
You too.
And I
Thank
am
you very
going to
Yeah.
go back to work.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, it worked.
All right, I'm
All
gonna
right, take care, everybody. Stay
All right.
safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.